So, you're working hard, right? Maybe you're even making pretty decent money, but somehow you're still stuck living paycheck to paycheck. It's so frustrating. Here's the thing, it's not really about how much you make, it's about what you do with it. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into the sneaky little habits that are sabotaging your financial future, and, more importantly, how to finally break them for good. Think of this as a kind of financial checkup. First, we'll explore that paradox of why so many of us feel stuck. Then, we'll diagnose 3 of the most common issues: unconscious spending, the crazy cost of status, and that vicious cycle of debt. And then, the best part, we'll write a prescription for building real wealth, so you'll have a clear roadmap by the end.
All right, let's kick things off with a feeling I think we all know too well. It's that sensation of running on a hamster wheel. You're working your tail off, but you end up in the exact same financial spot, month after month after month.
Does that sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. Look, this isn't about making you feel bad. No blame, no shame here. It's all about understanding a really, really common problem. Because, once you see it for what it is, you can actually start to solve it. And trust me, that feeling, it's the starting point for millions and millions of people. And this quote from Warren Buffett just nails the heart of the issue, doesn't it? The real goal isn't just to earn a paycheck. It's to build systems where your money starts earning money for you. Now, that is the fundamental shift you need to make to go from just surviving to actually thriving. And if you feel this way, believe me, you are not alone, not even close. A staggering 58% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. This is not a personal failing. It's a huge issue, and it's usually rooted in just a few key habits. So let's start our diagnosis. Okay, our first diagnosis is something I call financial bleeding. It's not some big, dramatic expense that sinks the ship. No, it's the thousands of tiny, little untracked leaks. It's the money just quietly slipping out of your account without you even noticing. So what's the main culprit? Well, it's a small, sneaky habit that can cost you about $35 a week, sometimes way more. The thing is, it doesn't feel like a lot. And that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. It's the price you pay for not paying attention. And just look at how normal this all seems. A burger here, a coffee there, that subscription you totally forgot you were still paying for. None of these things are bad on their own, but when you add them up, they represent money just leaking away with no plan. You can't grow your wealth if your wallet has a hole in it. But here's where it gets crazy. It's not just about the $35. It's about what that money could have become. That $35 a week, it adds up to almost $17,000 in cash over a decade. But if you had invested it instead with just a modest 7% return, it could have grown to over $24,000. I mean, that's a down payment on a house, that's seed money for a business, real financial power just gone, all because of that unconscious spending. Okay, let's move on to our next diagnosis, which is a bit more psychological. It's the trap of trading your actual future wealth for a little bit of temporary social validation. It's that pressure to look rich instead of doing the hard work to actually be rich. This slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the stuff that signals wealth to other people. On the right, you've got the stuff that actually builds wealth for you. The truly wealthy people, they often don't care about impressing anyone. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought back in 1958. And Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord long after he became a billionaire. Think about that. The numbers here, they just speak for themselves. Let's say you spend an extra $500 a month on status items. A fancier car payment, expensive dinners, the newest phone. Well, if you invested that same money, it could grow to over $102,000 in just 10 years. You're basically sacrificing a 6-figure future just to look successful today. Our third and final diagnosis is honestly probably the most destructive of all. High interest debt, especially from credit cards, isn't just a leak in your finances, it's an active fire, burning your money before you can even touch it. Just look at the 2 paths here. If you only pay the minimum on a $5,000 balance, you're signing up to be in debt for over 7 years, and you'll pay thousands in interest. But by attacking it aggressively, you're free in under 2 years, and you save thousands of dollars that you can then use to build wealth instead of just feeding the beast. I want you to just let that sink in for a second. With minimum payments, you are literally paying $8,000 for $5,000 worth of stuff. Stuff you probably don't even remember buying. Come on, that's not a payment plan, it's a wealth destruction plan. It's designed to keep you poor. Okay, enough with the doom and gloom. We've diagnosed the problems, but a diagnosis without a cure is pretty useless, right? So now let's pivot to the prescription, the simple, actionable steps you can take to heal your finances and start building real, lasting wealth. And the prescription is so beautifully simple, and it's designed to directly fight back against the habits we just talked about. First, to stop that unconscious spending, you track everything. You can't manage what you don't measure. Second, to break free from the status trap, you redirect your money intentionally, away from things that drain you and towards things that build you up. And third, to escape that debt cycle, you automate your wealth. Your willpower is finite. Make building wealth your default setting. That redirect step really all comes down to understanding two simple words: assets and liabilities. The entire game of building wealth is just this: systematically use your income to buy more assets, things that put money in your pocket, and fewer liabilities, things that take money out. That's it. That's the secret sauce. And ultimately, all of this boils down to a choice. It's a choice of mindset. On one side, you've got the mindset that says, it's just $5. On the other, you have a mindset that sees every single dollar as a little soldier you can send into battle to fight for your financial freedom. Which commander are you going to be? So please remember this. Where you are right now is not your final destination. You are not defined by your bank account today. Your future is built by a series of small, intentional choices, not one giant leap. You are just one decision, one new habit, one single choice away from completely changing the entire trajectory of your financial life. This is a hard truth, I know, but it's also incredibly empowering. At some point, the responsibility shifts. It shifts to you. You have the power to write a totally different ending to your financial story, no matter where it started. So, we've diagnosed the problems and we've laid out the prescription. Your future wealthy self is literally counting on the decisions you make right now. So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What is the one small intentional choice you're going to make today to put even $1 to work for your future?